Alright folks, it's come to my attention that absolutely freaking nobody remembers how to play armor anymore for whatever reason. So I wanted to do a quick video on armor. And it's not even a particularly good one, I don't think. This is a match mode where I played armor, and I think lost a lot of units. Some nukes went down, got a little bit spammy, so not even particularly good, but just there's some basic mechanics missing from people's armor play right now that I don't know if it's lost knowledge or what's going on, but the biggest mistake I'm seeing these days is that everybody's bringing out just a ton of heavy tanks, no light tanks, no capping power. Everyone's misunderstanding the role of armor, I think, and not capping the way that they should. So I'm actually probably going to fast forward through a lot of this because the beginning isn't that entertaining. But you could see that I brought out multiple light units, just one heavy tank off the opening spawn. I brought out some medium tanks. That debate can continue to rage on, and that's fine. I think they're worthwhile, especially on Seaside, because you can snipe some infantry squads. I didn't get a chance to right there because I was going for the cap, but I think you should continue to bring medium tanks, at least a couple off the opening spawn. Otherwise, it's pretty standard match mode the way it's shaping up. Got all of our drops coming down. I did some defensive drops along with the infantry player just a bit late because we needed to get our TA up. Currently, my unit mixture is 2 heavy tanks, 3 lights, and a medium. So that's roughly a 2-to-1 ratio of light units to heavy tanks. That's about what it's supposed to be. I'm about to get my light tank absolutely obliterated on beach. So it's a good thing I spawned another light tank. Oh, I saved it. Okay. Anyway, the point here is I'm developing a lot of capping power. I have lots of units on the field. I want to have some units in reserve. I got some guys fortifying that I can bring up if I need to. So I got that light there. This heavy is kind of in danger if I put him in a standard sniping lane, so I just brought him back to fortify for a moment until we get the infantry battle under control. Oh my gosh, we're getting arty in our spawn. Like I said, I don't think this is a particularly good match, just one that helps me illustrate how to have a proper unit mixture as armor. I'm fortifying over here with a light tank, so I've got a good amount of units on the field. I do have 2 heavies right now, so 2 heavies, that's usually about where you want to be. Occasionally you can have 3, but most of the time you probably want to be sitting at 2 heavies. At later points in the game, I'd say you just have 1 heavy as kind of like an anchor unit, because that's when you need just a lot of quick mobile capping power. And we're doing a good job here. We're going for this cap, but Stonks is going to deny it on us. Good job by him. But I mean, we're doing what we're supposed to do here. Pushing lights up, pushing heavies into position to shoot down range at the enemy units that are going to be trying to deny us from capping. So that's why I'm pushing these heavies up a little bit. Unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to try and cap with the heavy as well. And that's going to put it in danger. That is the less ranked heavy. I have a 1 bar back here. I'm trying to get these heavies ranked up. We got the town cap. And we're sitting pretty. So we're getting this thing under control. I need to remember that my light tank is over here fortifying still, but I wanted to make this kind of more of a short and quick PSA type video, so I'm going to fast forward a little bit. But again, I have light tanks coming out, moving to beach. I got lots of capping power sitting around. I just got a bunch of it killed here there at beach by air, but that's okay. They're just light tanks. And they're reinforcement point light tanks at that. If they were dropped by TA, then I'd want to be a bit more careful with them because they're more valuable, but they're just reinforcement point light tanks. So I'm shooting missiles. The nice thing about light tanks is that they're quick. They can get in and out of battle quickly. They can shoot missiles at units that need to die quickly. A lot of times, you rush them up to get shots on AA, because if the enemy support player is doing what they're supposed to, they gotta kind of like hide back a little bit. They're gonna try and keep their AA away from you. So sometimes in order to get a shot, you gotta rush a light tank in there. Now I'm gonna protect this heavy. Air is loitering. I still have two heavies on the field. I've got my 2-to-1 unit mixture still. 4 light tanks, 2 heavies. My heavies I'm protecting well. I've got them ranked up. I'm fortifying back points with my lights as they're expendable. So especially on this back point of hometown, that's the point that gets T8'd a lot. So actually, I almost wish that I didn't have a captain light tank there, but now that I've got a little bit of a force here, we're massed a little bit. Support's got some AA ready. Tenerife is putting down this carpet. It's going to be real nice. And I say in chat, now push. So this is where you push up your units. So I'm even pushing up my heavies at this point, but I'm going to push up my lights as well. Hopefully I remember to bring that light up from spawn there. And we're going to probe the sides with the lights. They're going to die. And this is all going to be an absolute failure. Not really. I mean, we're gaining ground. We are pushing the front line forward, and that is, you know, there's something to be said for that. It helps keep the enemy locked out of town. This is not a good situation here with this AT. Luckily I saw it. I did see this light tank was done fortifying, so I move it into kind of a reserve position. So you want to have some lights in reserve occasionally, and so you can pull them out when you need. Moving this heavy to snipe at beach. I think he was still actually shooting up there at supermarket for a minute. He's gonna protect town for the time being. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit more here. I spawned 2 more lights at beach. Oh, we got a nuke coming in. This is another important thing, to move your spawns around so that you can appropriately react to situations on the side. I saw that they were taking a look at beach. Ended up being that they were just, I don't know, pretending and preferred to nuke us, and now they're pushing the middle. Luckily we're counter nuking, but that's why I moved my spawn over there. I should be moving my spawn back over here. Yep. 3 light tanks coming in. I've got 1 general heavy. At this point, probably this will be my heavy tank anchor, and that'll be it. I don't know if I might call out 1 more heavy tank. We'll see, but that's a shame. We got clustered, but we got to clutch Ford up. Still kind of forgot about my light tanks there. Clearly having some micro issues. Again, this is not a particularly good match. It just happened to be one that I clicked on in my list of 700 replays I have in my folder right now.
10 minutes remaining.
We're pushing town. The enemy team is also doing a good job with their light tanks, pushing in quickly. We got quick mobile capping power. We got Weesk with his APC with infantry. Good on him. We're getting RD'd, so that's tough. I finally remembered these light tanks, and they're moving up. This heavy's kind of chilling. I don't want to move them up and around to get back here, so I'm going to probably move them around and behind. We do need to get some forts up in the back, which is partially my responsibility. Luckily, Weesk has a reg helping out. This reg is not quite on that point, so he can move that. But, already coming down to kill the light units pouring into town. Looks like infantry is APC spamming along with some heavy lights from armor. I'm moving my general heavy tank to be able to shoot into town there, down that lane. I'm probably gonna be a little nervous about him being there because TA tends to come in there, but I'm still holding him way back, so keep that in mind. We got our cap with the lights there. Quick mobile capping power, get more units on the field. That's what it's all about. And see, I noticed the fortification problem here, so I'm going to have 1 light tank drop on the point. It's okay to drop directly on points if they're your backfield points. That's okay. Don't drop directly on the points if it's like up there, an enemy point or something. As long as it's uncontested, you can do that. So I'm reinforcing the left. the middle with fortifications, and I have one light tank in reserve back here by research. Typically around this time of the game, the enemy starts trying to poke at research a little bit, so you'll notice I have airbornes there to help defend, and the light tank ready to move into action if needed. At this point I have 8 light tanks in the field and 2 heavies. My heavy is pushing up quite a bit. This might be the end of him. Oh, what a shame. General Heavy Tank, he's been around for most of the game. But the lights cap beach. Got some forts coming up in town. That's a problem for them. They don't want to have forts coming up. But also they look at the lights and see, they think, is that a good target? If it were like heavy tanks sitting on those points, they might put tank busters down. But for a measly light tank, do you spend a lot of money on that? I don't know. You should, because getting forts up is about the end of the game here in town, unless they have some big TA. But it just doesn't trigger the same thing in somebody's brain to react and say, oh, I gotta kill this heavy tank. Same for air. Air sees a heavy tank that they can pick off, they just go right for that. They see a light tank they can pick off, whatever. If they get to it, they get to it. Now, they have a pretty massive light tank push going on here. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I mean, you do kind of need some anchor heavy tanks. Usually just one. I brought in a second one here because I'm in a good way, and I have lots of supplementary airdropped light tanks ready to move into action. One just died, but I used TA to drop light tanks to supplement my reinforcement point force, and that allows me to have an extra heavy tank in this situation. I'm also dropping airbornes, so that's something you can do as armor if you're feeling comfortable. And notice, I haven't even moved this guy yet, but he's there if I need him. And I'm not even trying to be that funny about it's a little bit of a joke, but seriously, he is there if I need him. If this were to come under attack, like if they were doing combo drops, a lot of times you'll see someone cluster the top point and tank bust the bottom. And these silly neckbeards these days that drop their infantry or tanks right on the points to try and combo drop the caps. You can see that coming down, so with my light tank just kind of loitering there, if I see that TA going to clear those fortifications, I can just move it right over there and deny that cap. We're moving into the death position here. It's not going to be long now. I could total dom right now. I think I'm going to do it, yeah. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 light tanks in the field with 2 heavies. So again, not like a particularly clean match. Lots of nukes, lots of TA going down. There were some ugly parts, some parts where I forgot my micro, but that's how you play match mode armor. Please stop bringing out like tons of heavy tanks when they just run up and die. The light tanks are there to run up and die. That's what their job is, and they're better at it because they're faster and they're not as much of a target. People won't attack them as ferociously as if you have a blob of 2 heavy tanks pushing the front. A lot of times in these matches, when it gets a little spammy at the end, it's hard for the heavy tanks to even get shots on things. Even in the early game, there's not that many opportunities to shoot AA. And a lot of times those opportunities you get for soft targets to shoot heat shells, you can also just shoot a missile from a light tank. So try and keep in mind how often you can really keep the main gun on that heavy tank going, because that's what it's meant for. That's what heavy tanks need to be shooting about as much as possible. If the heavy tank isn't shooting, then there's something wrong. You have too many heavy tanks. Light tanks that are just sitting around and not shooting, that's okay, because they're ready to move into action quickly when you need them, and they're recharging their missiles, which do a lot of damage. So, slight PSA there. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.